Welcome to Connect and Collaborate. I'm Alex Hopkins, your on-air producer, and I'm so excited today because we have our monthly guest from the Colorado Workforce Development Council, the CWDC, as we lovingly call it here, and as you guys call it yourselves. So I have in studio with me Britta Blodgett and also Ryan Keiffer. He's with A-Train Marketing Communications, and on the phone we have with us Stephanie Veck with Maher. Maher, she's a project advisor for the CWDC. So welcome, you guys. How's everyone doing today?
Doing well. Thank you for having us.
Yes, wonderful.
Great, thanks.
So exciting news just happened for you guys. It is officially Workforce Development Month.
It is. We are very excited. The governor issued a proclamation last week that September is Workforce Development Month, and today is Keep Colorado Working Day. And across Colorado, there have been events to celebrate this, including things like hiring events, open houses, job fairs happening all across the state. So
fantastic.
And then each week this month has been is highlighting a different industry.
Cool.
So this week we're featuring leisure, hospitality, and retail. The second week, starting September 10th, will be focused on apprenticeships and youth. And the third week, in September 17th, again highlighting construction and manufacturing. And the fourth week focused on healthcare and technology. And the Department of Labor, the Colorado Department of Labor and Employment, has a list of events and will be doing a lot to feature employers, success stories from job seekers, and also highlighting jobs and data for each one of these industries as well.
Absolutely. Well, and I noticed that all of these industries, right, are pretty low. They need employees, I should say. They're high demand. High demand. Thank you. That's a much better way to put that. And they're all great industries for sure. We've featured each one of those. I know with you guys as well as on other shows for us. So I'm excited to see what this brings about and how many people we can get hired in this month, right?
Yeah, I think we are definitely excited about it, and I know the Colorado Department of Labor and Employment has done a lot of work toward this month, and I think it's going to be a good one.
Wonderful. That is exciting news. So you want to just jump into some topics that you guys want to cover today?
Sure.
Yeah.
One of the big things that we're very excited about in Workforce Development Month is we are pushing the public to our new TalentFOUND electronic gateway, which will help students, job seekers, and employers connect with the resources of the Talent Development Network. So we really wanted to discuss TalentFOUND and that electronic gateway today. So I wanted to ask Ryan, could you explain to us a little bit, what is TalentFOUND?
Absolutely. Thanks, Britta. TalentFOUND is the Colorado Talent Development Network. So it really is something that's designed to bring the systems, partners, programs, and initiatives of the Talent Development Network together. It's a really decentralized network that we're talking about. A lot of different players, from businesses to workforce, K through 12 education, higher education, economic development, and I could go on and on. A lot of different organizations all doing their thing, but all doing their thing to serve students, job seekers, workers, and businesses in some way, and help them get the training they need and get them placed in great jobs. So TalentFOUND is designed to be a centralized access point for this, where students, job seekers, and workers can search and explore education and training and career opportunities, career pathways, jobs of the future, and things like that, and how to align their interests and abilities with the jobs that are available today and tomorrow. And also where employers can go to look at what tools and resources are available to them through the Colorado Talent Development Network, so they can access, train, and retain their talent and keep their businesses growing here in Colorado. So individuals in partner entities that are part of the network also engage with TalentFOUND to help them understand what the talent pipeline is, what their role is in that, and also how it can benefit those they serve.
Do you have a specific example of a company in town that is working with you guys to showcase what exactly you offer?
So we do have a number of businesses who are affiliates of TalentFOUND. Those include organizations such as RK Mechanical, also a company called Perrin as well. So it's a really a wide spectrum, which is
Cool.
great.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you.
And then I know Stephanie has been very passionate about this project and a tremendous leader in this. And so I wanted to ask Stephanie if she could talk a little bit about the background and what led to TalentFOUND and who's been involved.
Right. Thanks, Britta. Yeah, I'm a little passionate about this project. TalentFOUND is really the culmination of 6 years of work across state agency partners, nonprofit organizations, business partners, community-based organizations, all recognizing that we could do so much together if we collaborated and worked together versus everybody staying in their own lanes and doing their own thing, knowing what's going on, but loosely tied. Also, the frustration of job seekers, students, and businesses with some, access to resources, but no central place to go and find out what they are, and lack of an understanding that things are actually coordinated together. So Colorado became really well known for its collaborative nature, for its collaboration across workforce development, economic development, education, higher education, in building an industry-led talent development system. But that knowledge was really only internal to people who were working in those systems and working with those systems, and quite honestly, better known outside of the state of Colorado than it was known by the people that we serve within the state of Colorado or our own partners. And so about 2 years ago, the Governor's Workforce and Education Cabinet recognized a need for a unifying brand, for a unifying network that would bring us all together in a way that we were talking about the same things in the same way, including a glossary of terms and messaging that was uniform, so that when we were talking to a student, a job seeker, a worker, a business, that it came across as a thing, not 10 million different things all operating in silos and not coordinated. And then at the same time, we had a group of subject matter experts across the core agencies for those elements, workforce, economic development, education, already working together to align our talent development efforts with industry's needs. And they also recognized that in order to really, truly do this work, we needed to have a better communication strategy. So out of that desire of subject matter experts that are working with our students, job seekers, and businesses, as well as the governor's cabinet, there was seen a need to have this unifying network. And so out of that, we collaborated across 10 different state agencies, multiple local partners, many, many businesses, and came up with the Colorado Talent Development Network that Ryan's already described, and ultimately developed the brand for that network, which is TalentFOUND, and then launched that about a little over a year ago, and over a year's time, we received over 100 organizations that agreed to sign on as charter affiliates, and now even more have signed on as affiliates. And so with that affiliate, all of those over 100 organizations that are collaborating together in the network, we have now built out tools and resources to help people access this network in a more streamlined, single point of contact way versus just sending people to hundreds of different organizations in a less connected way.
Great. Thank you, Stephanie. We've talked a little bit about the brand and the gateway and different components. Ryan, could you share a few more details about what are those key aspects of TalentFOUND?
Sure, absolutely. Well, you mentioned two of the three areas that are really focus areas of TalentFOUND. We have the brand, we have the network, and then we also have the electronic gateway. So the brand is really the heart and a lot of things that Stephanie was talking about in terms of the initiative and the umbrella that we want to use to bring together this all of the different elements of the talent development network. So the brand and its name, TalentFOUND, and its tagline, which is discover ability, develop talent, find success. This brand aims to communicate to those we serve, the students, job seekers, workers, and businesses, that there are an infinite number of pathways to reach a successful and rewarding career, whatever your personal definition of success may be. So TalentFOUND is here really to help people on their own unique path to success. And so TalentFOUND.org is where students and job seekers can go to find or discover their talents and their abilities and develop those into abilities that will help them get jobs. And it's also where employers go then to access and to train and to retain this diverse workforce so they can build their businesses here. We do have a toolkit, a brand toolkit on the website that's created to offer guidance for those who are part of the network to be able to implement the brand and become part of this and really join in this effort to bring together the Colorado Talent Development Network. So that really, the second element, obviously all these are very intertwined, is the network itself. And as Stephanie was describing, this initiative is really about finding ways to connect the partners of the Talent Development Network together in a stronger way. I mentioned how diverse the network is, and what we really want to do is try to bring that together, integrate some of the things that we're doing, share successes and best practices, and also realize and work together towards what are absolutely our common goals, which are to help students, job seekers, and workers access meaningful employment that fits their skills and abilities, and also help businesses access the skilled workforce they need. And so that bringing together of the network and making it stronger is a really important aspect of what TalentFOUND is. The third piece that is the electronic gateway, and this is really what is at the heart of TalentFOUND.org, the website. And this is where the rubber hits the road, right? This is where the students, job seekers, and workers can actually go and they can explore and connect to the resources that are available to them throughout the entire talent development network. There are a lot of great resources out there for everybody, and Colorado's recognized nationally for our talent development network and system and the amount of resources that are available and the quality of those resources. But people have a really hard time knowing how to access that, knowing what is right for them, what are the right doors that they need to open. And so the gateway is designed to really centralize all of that information, allow people to put in some a little bit of information about what they're looking for. And then by doing that, we can connect the students, job seekers, and workers to resources that will help them develop their careers, and we can connect employers to the resources that will help them build and grow their teams. The other piece of the gateway is also serving as a hub for the network affiliates. So that's the electronic piece of that network development aspect that will help us facilitate that improved connection.
And I think one thing I would add to on the brand is that we have seen good adoption, especially because we do a good job of collaborating in Colorado. If a group of organizations are hosting an event together or creating a website together, people have been excited to use that brand rather than having to create a whole new brand or, a whole new thing. So I think that that's been great to see people start using it.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. If you don't mind diving just a little bit deeper into the need for this, right? Because we've talked several times on the show about the fact that we're at an all-time low for unemployment rates, yet companies are still needing good quality employees, mm-hmm. right? So if you don't mind diving a little bit into each week and what we might be able to expect to see. Again, I know that the Colorado Department of Labor and Employment mm-hmm. has a list of things out there, but if you wouldn't mind going through and maybe highlighting a few of the events.
Sure. So I know they actually are creating a website for each one of the weeks where cool. Different jobs and employers will be promoted during that time. So for the second week, apprenticeships and youth, actually there is a website already called Apprenticeship Evolution that highlights, it has resources both for students and job seekers who might be interested in doing an apprenticeship themselves, and also resources for businesses around what does it take to set up an apprenticeship, how could I get started with this or explore that. For week 3, I believe that the website they have will be CO workforce-skilledtrades.jobs and CO workforce-manufacturing.jobs. And so they really will be promoting jobs within that. And I think also sharing a lot of specific data, labor market data specific to that industry as well. And we'll be putting out lots of information via their social channels as well, Facebook and Twitter, coming from the Colorado Department of Labor and Employment.
Awesome. And we've, again, apprenticeships and internships are words that we throw around a lot, and sometimes people don't know the difference in those, right?
Yes, and I think that actually that goes back to something that Stephanie was talking about with the TalentFOUND glossary that we have worked on, and the importance of having those common terms. And so we have the Colorado Workforce Development Council has that glossary on our website, and it's something that is shared with our partners. And when there is a question around, well, what does this word mean, we really try to go back to that. And we also recognize that language and terms have an evolution. So we have there's a cross-agency group, cross-organizational group that revisits those and says, okay, this is our definition. Does it need to evolve slightly based off of current understandings or what's included in that as well? But I do think we also have the work-based learning continuum that highlights the different aspects of work-based learning, including what is an apprenticeship, what is an internship, what is career exploration. So, and I think that we have lots of resources around those as well on the TalentFOUND gateway. And so I think for someone who doesn't necessarily know what they want to do, talentfound.org is not a job board. It's not just a place where you go to find a job, but it's we're trying to address sort of the larger picture. And so if someone wants to explore different career paths, especially in high demand industries, we can try to help connect them with the resources most relevant to that,
which is really cool. Yeah, that's I think making sure that the audience gets the grasp, right, of how much you guys have done. And Stephanie gave a great explanation of how many industries have partnered with you guys on this, which is just amazing. I'm excited for it, and it's clearly growing enough that the governor decided to make a whole month of workforce development. Yeah.
We're Workforce Development Month. I think this has been actually going on for a number of years too, and so September has been, but I definitely know kind of more and more excitement seems to be building around the month. So
right, and he proclaimed that last Friday, though, right? Yeah, so that is exciting. It's and it has been for a while, as you said, but the proclamation behind it is a little exciting.
Yeah, it's always exciting to have that.
Yeah, the whereases for that proclamation. Is there anywhere we can see that proclamation? Do you know?
The CDLE has put out a press release with links to that. So
cool.
Yeah, and they will be issuing more information regularly throughout the month as well.
Fantastic. That's exciting stuff.
Yeah, I think that you mentioned the number of businesses and industries that have gotten behind this, and I think that's really an illustration and testament to how important what we're trying to do with TalentFOUND is. I think, the business community, my business included, certainly recognizes that there's a gap between people and their skill sets, and then how those apply to the jobs that we're creating as business owners, and that are open and difficult to fill, especially in a job market like this. And there are a lot of really talented people out there who certainly have the ability to fill these jobs, but they don't necessarily have the skill sets or the training.
Right.
And that's where a lot of this comes, is trying to connect those people who are really striving to make a better lives for themselves. They're trying to find their own path. They know what they're interested in. They have a sense of what their talents are, but how do you apply that in a real world workforce setting? And how do we as employers better connect with those people who have the skills we need to get going and to get them on board, and then be able to continue to develop those skills once they are on board with things like on-the-job trainings, internships and apprenticeships. And that murky picture that the businesses certainly know that there's a lot more that could be done to better connect good people with good jobs. And so the number of businesses that are behind this, I think, is a testament to that, how important this initiative really is.
And I think we were excited when we looked at, okay, what organizations have become affiliates of TalentFOUND, and it really is a good cross-section of organizations. It's not that we have all state agencies or all business or all nonprofit organizations. We have a good cross-section of all of those represented, and also across economic development, workforce development, economic education and training, excuse me. So I think that that's something we're really excited about, that we feel like it's not just that we're seeing excitement from one of those groups or systems, we're seeing it from across all of them. And I don't know, Stephanie, if you have anything that you want to add. I know you have been talking with different organizations and groups. Are there aspects when you are have been out talking to people about this that have resonated most with those you've spoken to?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that for a long time, everyone has seen the value of what each system does, and when they work closely, they understand that there is a network that works to better serve the customer, and that the excitement is that through TalentFOUND, we are bringing that together in a way that the affiliates of TalentFOUND actually have a tangible way to be a part of that network, to be a part of finding solutions to better serve those that they serve, and to better help individuals or families or businesses find access to what they need. And so I really think that the main driver behind all of it is that the tagline, discoverability, develop talent, and find success. It's businesses. They know that you can't just hang a help wanted sign up in your window and expect skilled talent to walk in the door. You need to be a producer of talent. You need to help be part of the solution. And by being an affiliate of TalentFOUND, that's how you get connected to the network to be able to do that. And then I think as a public partner, whether it's workforce, economic development, education, higher ed, human services, community-based organizations, they all recognize that they are much more relevant when they partner with industry and they help create solutions that work for the jobs not only of today but the future, and this is the way to do it. And so I think that the TalentFOUND network and the ability to connect through that to both access skilled talent, create skilled talent, identify your own abilities, and work to develop the skills you need to be the most marketable in the workforce are what our public partners and businesses want to help people and other businesses do.
Well said, Stephanie. We have just a couple minutes left here. I want to express again to our audience to make sure that they get on to Colorado Department of Labor and Employment to check out those specific weeks that they have going on. Again, this week is leisure, hospitality, and retail. Next week is apprenticeships and youth. Week 3 is construction and manufacturing. Week 4 is healthcare and technology. So again, those big entities that are missing some employees and need that talent. And if you want to learn more about TalentFOUND, visit talentfound.org as well to get involved, whether you want to have your company get involved. Maybe you've got a student at home that is trying to figure out their path in life, right?
A business looking for resources.
Absolutely. I also need our audience to check out cobrt.com/radio-podcast. You can look up the Colorado Workforce Development Council and find all of the shows that we've done in the past, as well as this podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe our YouTube page while you're here. And we will be back in just a moment here on Connect and Collaborate with Britta Blodgett, Ryan Keiffer, and Stephanie Veck. Stay with us after this break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Connect and Collaborate. Once again, I am Alex Hopkins, your on-air producer, and we are having our monthly check-in with the Colorado Workforce Development Council. Again, in studio with me is Britta Blodgett and Ryan Keiffer, and on the phone we have Stephanie Veck. So welcome back, you guys. That was a nice little break we had there. And, you know, once again, I am so excited for you guys. It is Workforce Development Month, officially proclaimed by Governor Hickenlooper as of last Friday, so exciting stuff. You guys have some great things coming up all month long, but I know that we want to get a little bit more into Talent Found and specifically this electronic gateway, right?
Yes.
Right.
So we've talked a bit about the three main components of Talent Found: the brand, the network, and the gateway. But I wanted to ask Stephanie what she is especially excited about with the gateway and what is the gateway experience like.
Great, thank you. I think what I'm most excited about is what we've all talked about for a long time, is that we don't need yet another tool. We don't need some other solution. What we need is a single point of entry for all of the tools and resources and solutions that are out there for people and businesses that need them. And that's what I'm super excited about the Gateway. The Gateway is TalentFound.org is the website that really brings it all together, and then the Gateway, which you access through the TalentFound.org website, is that portal to all of the information that's out there. So through the Talent Found website, you can, scroll down and say, I want to learn more. I don't know what I want to do yet. I don't even know what I'm looking for yet. You can get access to a lot of resources that are already out there, like Connecting Colorado to look for jobs, or College in Colorado to look for career pathway experience in education, or Careers in Colorado to explore options and career pathways. But the really exciting part is that as a student, a job seeker, or a business, through the website, you can click into the Gateway, which is a portal specifically designed for you and the things that you're looking for. So if I'm trying to help my student or even an adult who's thinking about going back to school, they can access the Gateway through the student part of the portal and go in and find things that are specifically about someone who is either in school or looking to go back to school at whatever point in their life they're wanting to do that, and to not replicate those services and those tools that are already out there, but to help people find them easier and better for them. So they can, put in their zip code and get very specific information. They can search statewide. You can even find national programs and resources that might be available to help you. But it's really meant to be a self-service tool to help you navigate all of the resources that are available. Likewise, there's a portal specifically for job seekers, the kind of things that a person who is looking either for a new job or for a different job, for a bump up in their career, maybe they're happy in the place they work, but they want to explore new opportunities within that company to keep growing and expanding. They can go into the portal and they can find things about, education opportunities and ways to grow their career and their life. And then likewise, through the business portal, a business can click through and they can find out what tools and resources are out there and available to help them recruit, retain, and grow the talent that they need for their business to continue to thrive. And so it's just the Gateway, TalentFound.org, is a wealth of resources. The Gateway specifically is just really exciting because it takes a lot of the mess out and it narrows it down based on who you are and what you're looking for, either for a student, a job seeker, or a business. And to me, I think that's really innovative. It's unique, and it is streamlined in a way that makes the experience very, very useful no matter what types of help and resources you're looking for. And the fact that there's one single place to go and find those resources rather than digging through, everybody can Google, but sometimes when you Google, you don't necessarily get what you need. And so through this, it helps streamline it and make it easier for people to find what they really need and get linked directly to those programs and tools that they need to discover their ability, develop their talent, and find their success.
Great. I think that's, one thing that I would like to add to that is how expansive the Gateway really is in terms of the kinds of resources that it offers. This is one of the things that I think is really exciting as well is, when you think about a student coming to a website like this, obviously they're going to expect to see things like education, training programs, classes, but it's really so much more than that. We're also looking at, and that's one of the goals of TalentFOUND is if, you might think that you're looking for a class or a degree program or a certification program, but we want you to think bigger and think really more about that entire path. So career exploration, career preparation, and even things as broad as helping with books, helping with transportation. And so all of these elements that really go into being successful in getting the training and education you need to move along the career path that you've chosen, and including even exploring what that career path actually is, and then lining that back up with the right kinds of resources that are going to help you along that path. That to me is one of the really exciting things about this, is that it's not just about job seekers finding jobs or students finding classes or employers finding candidates. It's much broader than that, and it really is trying to develop, to address the entire ecosystem, really, of how people explore what they want to do, discover their abilities, how they develop their talents to line those abilities up with jobs, and then how they find success in their own career paths and in their growth of their own businesses.
Well, the nice thing about it is, as an adult, like if you're going to switch careers, right, and you Google something, as Stephanie mentioned, you don't get all of the resources when you Google something. And so you might get 10 different lists of, well, you're going to have to go back to school for 2 years, when really all you may need is a certification, and you guys have the tools to help you find exactly what somebody needs to switch careers, not just for students, not just for employees, right, for anyone.
Yes, and I think that, sometimes people don't know exactly what they're looking for, and not to knock on Google. Google is an amazing tool.
Wonderful tool.
But you know what you're looking for.
But you need to know what you're looking for. And so I think that the way we went through a process in setting up the 3 different navigations, one for students, one for job seekers, and one for employers, and talking with those audiences, people from those audiences, and saying, what are the different kinds of things that you are looking for? And so with the way that it's designed, we hope that by going through that navigation, it will prompt users to consider, just what you're saying, I thought I wanted X, but maybe Y really makes more sense for me in this scenario. Right. And so try to expand those possibilities. So for students, there's information about education and training programs, certainly school support programs such as help with books or transportation, career exploration, career preparation, things like, have you considered an apprenticeship? And also opportunities for work too, because we recognize that a lot of people who are students also need to have employment, and trying to facilitate when possible, is there a way that employment could connect to their career pathway? And then for businesses, I think, really the experience would be if you go to talentfound.org, you'll see a little bit of information at the top there that just briefly explains what TalentFOUND is, but then pretty quickly we're trying to connect people with those resources. So identifying as a student, job seeker, or employer, and then once someone clicks through to the employer gateway, they will be prompted to enter their zip code, because again, this tool, we're really trying to connect people with the resources that are closest to them first. So as Stephanie said, we also connect people with statewide or national resources too, but really kind of first taking people to, this is something in your immediate area that might be of use to you, kind of starting from that place. And so in the business navigation, the first section is My Employees, and there's information around career growth, company culture, upskilling your current employees. The second section is around sourcing and hiring, and that has information around job fairs, assessments, apprenticeships, job description templates, and resources around skills-based hiring. Skills-based hiring is something that the CWDC is continuing to partner on with a number of organizations, but I think say your business is interested in looking into that, but you don't really know where to start, the Gateway can help connect you with resources around that. Another section is around future workforce, which has information around career pathways, resources on building work-based learning opportunities, sort of if you're interested in investing in that and thinking in that direction, what are ways you can connect with tools or resources around that. And then a partners section. So we talk about the talent development network. And so if you are a business and you're interested in connecting with education or training program, if you're interested in connecting with sector partnerships across the state, ways to really try to facilitate that. And then the last section is around human resources, which include resources on diversity and inclusion, performance management, and labor market data information, such as that. And then we do also have a survey on the site as well, asking people for their feedback, because we do want to continue to improve this gateway. And so anybody who goes there who has feedback, we encourage you to share it with us. And we also are working to continue to grow and expand the resources that we have in the gateway. And there's a link there as well. If you expected to see something that you didn't find, please let us know. We want to include all of the relevant tools and resources. Or if information is not up to date, we want to hear about that and continue to improve.
Absolutely.
Stephanie, I know in your conversations with businesses, you have done a lot of work in speaking with partners around becoming an affiliate. What would you say are the reasons that you see people or organizations becoming affiliates?
You know, I think that businesses that are committed to not only having access to skilled talent, but actually being a partner in helping create the skilled talent that they and other businesses need for the future, and being really innovative and proactive in working alongside partners to be producers of talent, they see becoming an affiliate of TalentFOUND as, first of all, a way to demonstrate that commitment that they have to talent development and to their industry and to their workforce for their industry. I think the other part of it is that it's a great network to connect with other businesses. There are a lot of different networks out there to connect with businesses that are very much like yours, that are in your sector. We have our sector partnerships and all of those other ways. But through the TalentFOUND network, it's very broad and very diverse. So we have businesses from construction companies to IT companies to education and training companies, and they connect and they collaborate and they learn from each other, and they learn how to do what they do better and do what maybe their specialty isn't, but they're trying to figure out how to do it for themselves. They can connect with each other and come up with solutions together and promote the importance of talent development together. So I think that's really a big way of doing it. They also see it as a way every business wants to be seen, especially in a competitive talent environment. They want to be seen as that kind of place that you want to work, that has the right culture and someone who really cares about their employees and cares about their industry and the business. And being a part of the TalentFOUND network is one way to demonstrate that commitment to your employees and your staff. Likewise, I think that being able to get out there, be in front of people, let people know that you're hiring, that you're training, that you have great opportunities that are available. You can be in the marketplace marketing in all the same old ways that everybody else does, but by being a part of something, by being a member of something, it gives you additional access to telling your story in a lot of different places and connecting through that network to resources that might be available to you that you wouldn't know otherwise. That's really what businesses are most interested in, is being a part of something and demonstrating that they care about our economy, our community, their industry, and the people that work today or could work in the future for their companies.
Thank you. And in addition to that, for organizations that become affiliates, we recognize them on the website in multiple places. They also have the opportunity to weigh in on, as we're continuing to strengthen this network, what does that look like? What are the tools for that network that would be valuable? And also ensure that their information is up to date in the electronic gateway. They have programs and tools. If it's a organization that has that strong company culture or offers an apprenticeship, how can they can ensure that that information is correct in the gateway? And just better connection among those network partners as well. And so it's really any organization that's part of the Talent Development Network that can become an affiliate. The requirement for businesses and nonprofits is that they're in good standing with the state of Colorado. So,
Yeah.
I want to reinforce something that Stephanie said, which is that how many industries are coming together to work on talent development efforts through this network, and how much value that really adds. Obviously there's a ton of value for us businesses to connect with others in our industry. We have a lot of common problems that we can work on together. Sector partnerships being a really good example of another tool that's available that the CWDC works on that really brings companies of the same industry together, but to also have some of these resources where you get to get outside of that bubble of your own industry and really get to see what some of the other industries are doing around talent development, and how you might be able to tap into some of those strategies and some of those resources that maybe really aren't on the radar for your industry. And so there's really a lot of value in bringing so many industries together to work on one common challenge, which is talent development.
Absolutely. I want to go back a little bit and talk about, you were walking us through the electronic gateway for an employee, right?
or an employer.
An employer, excuse me. And one of the things that I saw that you have here is job description templates. And one of the things that I think we kind of fell on when you're describing an employment, right? You always say that 4-year degree. You always say that you need someone that can do these specific job descriptions, but also be a jack of all trades, so to speak, right? And so a lot of companies, I think, have a hard time and just throw that out there. So I love that you've got some templates. Do you have those that do other descriptions?
I think that that goes a lot back to the skills-based hiring again, not just defaulting to, okay, I'm going to say I need a 4-year degree for this person, and really saying, what are the knowledge, skills, and abilities that someone would need to be successful in this job? And but actually taking your job descriptions or your job postings and translating them into something that's really skills-based takes time. And so we do have resources that can help with that process if that's something your company is interested in.
This is something that really hits home for me as an employer, as somebody who hires people, is that the whole notion of interviewing and hiring and putting a job posting out and requiring a 4-year degree is in some ways often used really just to narrow down the number of resumes that you have to review, and it's not a very effective way to do that. There's a lot of people who have a ton of work experience that may not have a 4-year degree that would make them a great fit for a job opening that we might have. And so this notion of focusing more on skills that they have or that they've developed, and also as part of everything that we're talking about, being able for my company to develop some on-the-job training kinds of initiatives and things like that that would help to bring some of those people into the specifics of what our jobs require. But that's something that's necessary whether they have a 4-year degree or not. And so really focusing more on what they've learned and what they know and what they do well and what they've developed in their career so far, or even in their educational path so far, instead of just some check the box sort of requirement, is a much more effective way to find the talent that's going to be a good fit for us.
Absolutely.
And I know this is something that at the CWDC, we are trying to practice what we preach and do this as well, and make sure that we're not just defaulting to that. And also, I think with low unemployment, we want to get the best candidates, and we want to make sure that we're not prohibiting that by putting in a requirement that isn't actually going to help us get to our end goal necessarily.
And it's easy for a business like mine to say, well, that sounds great. I totally agree with everything that you're saying, and I agree 100% with that philosophy. But what does that actually mean when it comes to how I'm going to hire differently? I can say, yeah, that totally makes sense, but I don't really know what that means when it comes to actually applying this kind of thing. And that's exactly where the Gateway and TalentFOUND and the resources we have are a good example of how we can help businesses or students, job seekers, and workers to think a little bit more expansively and to be able to say, well, this is how you do it. Here is the resource that's going to actually help you develop and implement skills-based hiring techniques in your organization.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it benefits both the employer and the employee seeking that job, right? Mm-hmm. I definitely know from my own experience, I had some college on my resume. I definitely didn't have a 4-year degree, and I would lose out to people that didn't have the same skill set that I did because they had a 4-year degree, but it wasn't anywhere related to the job. Mm-hmm. And so how happy was that person really to find something that wasn't in their field? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so what a wonderful tool, I think.
Yeah. We're excited about this shift that I think is really starting in Colorado.
Yeah.
I also did want to go back and ask Ryan a little bit about the information that's coming out around the TalentFOUND electronic gateway. We do have a public push that will be happening in September, and so can you talk a little bit about some of the elements of that for us?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. We really emphasize the need to really get the word out about this, and it's great to be here today to help doing that. We need continued help to get the word out, because we could build the best tool in the world, but if nobody knows about it, then it really doesn't serve its purpose, right? And that's also true if we're creating a centralized, unifying umbrella brand over the Colorado Talent Development Network. It really needs to be that known as that central access point. So we will be starting a campaign around this to get the word out and drive people to the website and to the gateway. Mostly a digital campaign, of course, because it's a digital asset that we're talking about. So you'll start to see us on search engines and social media, and on YouTube and on Pandora, some of the digital tools that we're implementing, but also we're mixing in some of the traditional media as well to really expand this and create a multi-channel approach. So you'll start to see us a little bit on television and hear us on the radio as well. Of course, we also will be doing our own social media initiatives, and we would encourage people to follow us and like us on Facebook and Twitter. Really, all of this is the purpose of this, and what we want people to do, the call to action, if you will, is to drive people to the gateway and to help them access resources that they probably didn't even know were available to them. And so it's really important as well for our partners and those within the network to help us get the word out about this. So we'll be working with our 120 plus affiliates that we already have that to help us get the word out and help us expand and amplify this message, if you will. So hopefully you'll be able to see some messaging and some resources at workforce centers and chambers of commerce and training organizations and things like that. On the website, talentfound.org, obviously you can access the gateway. You can also sign up to receive email updates if you want to stay in the know and get more involved. And we'd love to have people, if they see the value in what we're trying to do and really want to help us connect students, job seekers, and employers to the resources that are available to them, but we know they're having a hard time finding those, then you can sign on to become an affiliate. And you can also help us really get the word out about this and help us build this brand that we can better serve those students, job seekers, and workers that have so much talent and so much potential out there for the Colorado economy, and help really to connect it and grow it.
Yes, wonderful stuff that you guys have going on. I certainly am looking forward to meeting with you again in October to see how this kickoff has gone and where you guys stand after a month of getting this campaign out for yourselves. And again, we will have this website, talentfound.org, as well as a link to the gateway at cobrt.com/radio-podcast. Look up Colorado Workforce Development Council. You can find all the shows in the past, and specifically for this one, we will have that link set up for you guys so that everyone can get involved. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Alex.
Mm-hmm. Thank you,
yes.
Alex.
And be sure to like and subscribe our YouTube page while you're here, and keep an eye out for the advertisements from Colorado Workforce Development Council and TalentFOUND. Thank you so much. Have a great day.